Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Memecoins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss Bitcoin shattering its old all-time high, flying through all the way up over 111K. Exciting stuff there. We're going to talk about altcoins that are showing some strength. We got Greeny on to do some charting for us, and we're going to talk about some interesting news out of the Avalanche ecosystem surrounding their conference over in London. GM. I'm joined today with my panelists, Greeny, Sig. Greeny, it's been a couple weeks since we've had you on. Happy to have you on again. Love it when you're on the show. How you been feeling?
Good, Ray. Good. Great to be back, guys. Sig, great to see you as well. It's been a while since I've seen you on the show, so it's good to chat again. Mate, look, it's hard not to be extremely bullish at this point in time, really, isn't it? Like, we're at all-time highs. Altcoins are starting to play catch up now. As you mentioned, AVAX is pumped pretty crazy. We obviously had Sui and Cetus, which we'll get into in the show. So who knows what's happening there. But no, very, very frothy market. I think we're in for some pretty good months ahead.
Love to hear it. Yep, we're definitely going to cover some of that Sui news breaking this morning. Sig, how you feeling today? Been a couple days.
I'm feeling good. I think it's a good sign that BTC is at its all-time high. Green. It's not a coincidence that he's on the show when there's an all-time high. These are the signs you have to look out for in the market. They're everywhere, and now they're appearing. So it feels good, man. I don't have a dance. I've seen a couple of dances from the guys out in London, which was great. I don't have one. I need to make one. But they are reflecting the energy I'm feeling. I'm feeling good, man. Open a portfolio, and I'm just like, oh, I did it.
It's nice too, because we're seeing some alt strength as well, as opposed to just Bitcoin. We're seeing Solana and ETH move in tandem here. The dance that we're talking about, I'm gonna share this because this is just too good. Like, as Bitcoin hit the all-time high the first time, them releasing this dance and then seeing the price absolutely crater was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Also, I like the dance moves by everyone here. Nick's even getting into it. Look at Easy showing a little bit of moves there. You normally don't get that kind of action out of it.
I feel like Clemente's had the dance lessons there. He's the one who's been practicing the most for the moment. He was just like there's the boy band. Clemente is out front being the main character of that little band going on.
Yep, definitely front line, front and center, taking the stage there. Looks like they're having a ton of fun over at the Avalanche Summit. We have some big news we're going to discuss there. We'll get into the weather report here in a minute, but first, I'm going to let you know the show is brought to you by our partners over at DYDX. We've got a lot of alpha coming out of DYDX. If you are someone who trades perps and you are somebody who talks on the timeline, there are multiple ways for you to get involved with DYDX and earn essentially free rewards. So easiest way, zero cost to enter, no issue. Just talk about DYDX on the timeline. They have a Kaido leaderboard, post-TGE Kaido leaderboard. Their token's already live. They're giving away $150,000 worth of token rewards to people who just talk about DYDX. Easy has an awesome post here. I'm going to pin it to the space. So if you're someone who's listening on Twitter, you can check out the space and the link that's pinned there. It basically goes through his strategy for earning DYDX points, what to talk about, how you can maximize your Twitter footprint and earn some free money. And then also he talks about DYDX in addition to their trader rewards. You know, they have trader rewards for just trading on the platform natively, but they just introduced this surge reward program, basically $20 million being given out over the period of 9 months. So a little over like $1 to $2 million per month. They gave away $1.4 million of rewards last month to 2,800 traders. Do the math there. 1.4 million, 2,800 traders. That seems like a pretty good ratio. They released their payouts, how much people earned. People earned up to 50K doing this. Looking here, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the full breakdown here of how much money people receive through DYDX's surge program. And this resets every month. So if you're somebody who's not in it right now and you're like, oh, I'm too late to join, well, just join June 1st. Start making your trades on DYDX. Maybe jump in now to get a feel for it, understand what you're doing. Obviously, trading perps is very risky, not financial advice, but DYDX is offering multiple ways to hedge your bets. Earn token rewards through Surge, earn token rewards from just trading, earn token rewards from talking about it on the timeline. All kinds of interesting ways to benefit when you're using DYDX. If you haven't signed up, what are you doing? Go to bodoggos.com/DYDX now to get started. You're going to get a little bit of cash back on your fees when you use that link as well. Big shout out to DYDX. Happy to partner with them. Love using their platform. Home run when you actually use the platform that you're talking about. And we love working with them over here at Bodoggos. That being said, it's time to get into the weather report signal. Why don't we take it away?
Absolutely, Ray. Let's get into it on Thursday, May 22nd. Looking over that crypto roundup, the majors, they've absolutely surged on the day with Bitcoin at 1,111. So 100,011,500. Whoa, what's going on with me? Anyway, Bitcoin's at all-time high. Ethereum is just under 2,700 and Solana is at $178, looking absolutely beautiful out there. Over the past 24 hours, top story. Firstly, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. And in doing so, it jumped Amazon to become the 5th largest asset by market cap. Bitcoin ETFs as well recorded another 600 million of net inflows and have now seen over 1.5 billion of net inflows over the past 3 days. Next up, those who placed, you remember Solana mobile pre-orders yonks ago, they are going to be rejoicing as the ecosystem announced the SKR token as well as an August ship date. The SKR token will be the native asset of the Solana mobile economy, and the SKR tokens will go directly to builders and users for ecosystem participation. So we're back with, will you make more money on that you spent on the mobile with this token? We'll find out. And then finally, multiple pieces of news broke out of the London Avalanche Summit as FIFA announced a partnership with Avalanche to launch their own L1. Van Eyck also announced the release of a digital assets fund focusing on the Avalanche ecosystem. That is all for the weather report. Things are cooking. Back to you in the studio, Ray.
Excellent weather report as always, Signal.
It wasn't. I stumbled on a number that a primary school child could have said. I've had harder things to say in all the 3 years I've done this, and yet I'm stumbling on, 6-digit numbers. But anyway, we're going to say an excellent weather report as usual, Signal. And back to you, Ray.
111,500. I don't even know how you say it. $111,500. Like, so we're going to be
really not that hard. Really not that hard.
It's going to be tough we're going to have some tongue twisters here. It's getting just so high. We just got to be like, okay, it's somewhere over 100K still.
Exactly. I mean, 150, don't even have me on the show. I'll be just spazzing out over here.
Yeah. So we have some news coming out of Avalanche. We covered that last there. Van Eyck is going to invest in some early stage ecosystems on Avalanche. We're seeing continued funding coming to crypto, this time on the Avalanche side. And this FIFA news is interesting as well. I'm basically looking to give ticket experiences. So like, this isn't only their blockchain product. This is like going like ecosystem wide within FIFA. So like they're doing like event experiences, ticketing, collectibles that exist already are being migrated to AVAX L1. I bag hold a bunch of these old FIFA collectibles that I minted for God knows how much whenever they were launching merchandise, and it's all going to be on chain. So interesting to see this news coming out of Avalanche. I know FIFA is like kind of like the odd like an odd blockchain participant. They've been like very into blockchain from the beginning, which has been cool to see. It just like it just seems odd, but like I guess it makes a lot of sense. And it's
weird. But is it odd, Ray? Is it because if you think about football, and I'm talking about football in the European sense, not the American sense, that is one of the most sort of highest attention, insane amounts of money in the football industry. And if we're moving to a future where everything is going blockchain wise and corporates are, have their own timelines as to when that will be appropriate for them, I think football is absolutely primed for that data to go on there. If everything from cars to student loans, why wouldn't it make sense for football to go over there? I think this is a really good move by them. I think they're being really sort of like future proofing their business and thinking of innovative ways to be able to reward fans. You can act like can you imagine you'll actually be able to drill down to that weird little fan that has been a fan since they were a kid because their parent probably gave them membership to some club and they've got 18 years of buying tickets and they've always supported that team. They're actually be able to reward that. And I think that's really smart. And I'm sure we're going to see other major sporting industries do the same over the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. I guess it's because we haven't seen this adoption out of like US sports. Like it was just like very confusing to see like FIFA at like the crypto council. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money and it's huge for blockchain. Like all the money that's invested there globally with FIFA is just.
Would you think if it was weird if it was the NFL that had done it?
I think it'd be weird if the NFL was sitting at the crypto council as well, like these major sports organizations. It just feels odd. They're sitting next to blockchains and all these other protocols. But that just could be like a weird bias that's in my head that just doesn't make a ton of sense for me. That being said, we have Greeny on the show. What does the avalanche chart look like? What do you think here? We're seeing a lot of positive catalysts come out of this this summit. This is huge news out of FIFA. What have you been seeing on the avalanche side?
Well, I agree with Sig. Like, as an Australian, I can sort of part ways between both of you, right? And I like EPL FIFA, like it is the biggest game in the world. Like it is followed by millions and millions of people. Like that, the amount of Australians that follow EPL, even though it's on the literally reverse side of the world, the amount of Australians that follow basketball, obviously in America, like it's crazy. So it's great to see these sort of Web2, like huge juggernauts, right, start to implement blockchain technology and that sort of stuff. And it makes a lot of sense, right? We've said all cycle that AVAX is that really go-to Web 2 to Web 3 connection. It just has, the chart just hasn't supported that at all this cycle. It's really been an underperformer, whilst Sui, Solana, Hyperliquid really still that sort of layer one market share. But no, the chart, I can pull up the chart, which I know a lot of people do love my chart. So hold on, let me pull that up in the background. All right, so massive shout out to Sexy, who I know the Bodogo crew know all about. He's a caller in GTG. He actually got us into a long here on AVAX a couple of days ago. So we absolutely printed on this. I think I'm up 400% in a couple of days on this long. But we're starting to see a bit of a shift here on low time frames, right? You've got higher lows coming off the bottom here. I am still worried that, or not worried, I just don't think AVAX really goes back to all-time highs personally. Like that is a lot of market cap that it would have to sort of run it back. Like we're at $25 and the all-time high was $150 way back in 2021. But I do think that this could run it back towards that $30 to $50 mark. And then we really have to see what's happening with the rest of the market. But I like the long here. I don't mind sort of moving away from BTC. If you're more of an active trader in the crypto space, I think right now BTC isn't as appealing because it's at all-time highs. Naturally the ROI isn't probably going to be as superior as some of your top altcoins. So that's where at least I'm spending more of my time, is looking at some of those sort of top meme coins and top altcoins that should outperform BTC, at least for the end of this cycle, in my opinion.
Love that analysis. I have a good comment here. Is this the true top signal? Is Fartcoin on an EPL jersey a top signal?
Which team is it on?
Well, I'm saying I don't know if it is yet. But I'm saying, like, is that I think they're asking, is that the top signal when you see that happen?
Well, I don't know though. Like you think about last cycle, right? Like FTX was everywhere. They were all over jerseys, all that sort of stuff, and that wasn't the top of the cycle. So conversely.
Yeah, funny to see that. We also had breaking news coming out this morning. Cetus is a large DEX on SWE. There was a potential exploit here, multi-million-dollar exploit on Cetus. We saw the Cetus token crash on the back of this, along with a number of different meme coins in the ecosystem. Oh, nice. You have it up. Perfect.
Yeah.
So this happened early this morning. The SWE network posted about this. Cetus basically has said they're investigating right now. We're waiting for future details. We've seen some people talking about on-chain money moving around, potentially 60 million being offboarded onto ETH. So this is something we're watching live, and we're going to see like what can be done in terms of like stemming this and what the extent of this could be. I know Cetus has been a pretty big winner in terms of like tokens in general, all tokens, and definitely all tokens on SWE. Is there any trade to be made here surrounding uncertainty in the SWE ecosystem with this hack? Because normally we see these hacks and they're not like the end all be all of a protocol.
I agree with that take. Like this, I mean, it's been one of the strongest performers this cycle, right? Behind SWE is Cetus. So it's DEX swap, it's a liquidity provider, kind of what Radiant does for Solana. And it was one of my bags. So I actually sold my spot bag earlier today, just more as a precaution. I have seen a few people in GTG trying to long this. I just don't know about that. Like it's down, what, 25% today, 28%, and even SWE's down. Look, as you can see here, it has broken out still, and it's nowhere near that breakout. So in theory, this is still consolidation in a bullish continuation pattern where you have an impulsive move, consolidation here, and then we have our next sort of impulsive move after. So look, I do think opportunity is here once we maybe get to the root of the cause, whether it was an Oracle thing, whether it was a hack. We're not 100% sure. I've seen a few contrasting tweets. So wait and see what happens. In terms of Sui, though, Sui's same. It's kind of consolidating again, where you have like consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation. Hopefully, impulsive move to a new all-time high. So I think a pullback on these two tokens, probably more Sui would be a safer bet. But Cetus definitely still is, in my opinion, not a bad trade as long as we sort of get clarification about what actually happened with that potential hack.
Yeah, interesting. We've seen huge numbers come into Sui in terms of TVL and DEX volume recently. So it sucks to see something like this, but I think they're going to be fine in the long run. And so like some of these opportunities, when you do have these big hacks, there may be opportunity when you figure out like what the root cause is it something that could happen again, et cetera. So we'll be keeping our eyes peeled there. You said you're long on some of these Sui bags. Have you been using Sui at all in terms of the chain, or are you just trading spot?
I actually know I was trading spot majority, but I traded Sui way back in this sort of first cycle where we ran out really aggressively at the end of last year. I was trading a few Sui meme coins back then. Hippo and stuff was around then as well. But as you can see here, like complete capitulation of liquidity pools on all of these tokens. Like Lowfi is down 70%, Hippo's done 80%. Just absolutely dumping all these charts. So no, I was previously trading on Sui, but I haven't for a while because I've been focusing more probably on abstract, but then obviously more on just day-to-day long and shorts in G2G. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I have some capital over there. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to deploy. I think there's some lending stuff that's interesting. Meme coins maybe interesting now too if you think that this is going to rebound. Walrus token is also down a decent amount today, which is interesting. I don't know if you've ever looked at the wall token to see what's going on there, but I think that could be another one that's interesting on a dip here. They were getting close to flipping Filecoin, which would be like their competitor here. So we have a huge dip on wall here, which has also caught my eye.
I think it's that we needed. I think you need to see clarity on what's happening with the liquidity, because that's obviously the issue here. The liquidity's been dumped. So essentially, there's like, I think they've actually stopped trading on a lot of exchanges as well. Is what I've read this morning, or this morning in American time, this evening in Australian time. But so it is. I think it's just to be cautious. Maybe wait to see. The rebound will be quite aggressive if it's all positive news, of course. So if you did want to be a bit more of a degen, you could probably look for a few trades, but I mean, it doesn't look like there's much trades sort of happening at the moment. Yeah, 2 hours. It looks like I think the whole chain, if not Cetus liquidity pools, have been paused, is my current understanding of Sui. Yeah.
Yep. I haven't played in there today. So that could be the case. A lot of uncertainty. If you're on Sui, be aware. If you're looking for trades, there may be things here. Just wait for clarification, and we'll keep you posted as always on this.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing those 2 quick charts. That was awesome. Let's do the big boy now. Like, why don't we do the big boy? Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. Like, this happened very, very quickly. I think 111,888 is what I saw in terms of like new all-time high. Like, what are you looking at a Bitcoin? This is a very aggressive run. Like, is it too aggressive at this point?
A lot of people, so a lot of your top sort of influencers on Twitter were quite like, they wanted to pull back. And I'm in that camp too, because in a healthy market, right, you want to have, like I said before, a bit of an impulsive move, consolidation sideways, or a shallow pullback, and then that continuation higher. I know Craig, one of my fellow streamers and fellow members in GTG, and a guy that I've known in a while, he basically told everyone at the bottom to buy at 74K. He started to take a little bit of profits again at 111, which in my opinion makes a lot of sense, right? It's a swing trade. You're up 40 to 50%. You should probably take some off the table if you're not looking to hold for 5 to 10 to 15 years. Now, I think this is quite bullish. I think if we do get a retest here of either the previous all-time highs, like on low time frames, I kind of drew it out for sake early, but like if we get a retest here, I'm probably looking to long and probably long even towards that sort of 120K mark, if not 130K mark. If I talk about potential targets, which I know a lot of people always like to ask, Greeny, where do you think BTC could actually go? So for me, there's 2 ways that I like to consider where we could potentially go in the near future. So the first one that I want to talk about is just a simple analysis from the Fibonacci from the top of last cycle to the bottom of this cycle, and where does that actually put us in terms of Fibonacci extensions. Now, if we have a look at history, Historically, BTC actually goes to its 3.618, which I don't think we get to 209,000K this cycle. When you think about it, like diminishing returns, right? As market caps get bigger, it takes a lot more liquidity to pump a token that is trillions of dollars in market cap to those sort of next levels. But the 2.618, which has been hit every single cycle as an extension from the top to the low, is at 155K. And I genuinely think that could be a target in conversation towards the end of this year, possibly into 2026 if macro sort of sustains that bullish risk on environment. That's the first sort of area I'm looking at as a potential high. The second way I like to potentially look for tops is I use the swing. So we look at the high from January, and then we take it to the swing low at 74K. And then if you pull that out, and the 1.618 is about the 130K mark, and then again the 2.618 is about the 165K mark. Now, I think we definitely probably tick off at least two of these sort of targets here, 118, 123, possibly 130. In the most bullish circumstance, if we do have more of a sustained run moving forward, which, I mean, BTC dominance could, in theory, get to 70%, then I do think that we could hit that 150 to 160K sort of region for BTC. At those sort of levels, I think you should be pretty keen to take some profits off the table if you're not a long-term holder like PO, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, PO's, every time you say take profit, I feel PO just twitching in the background. Never sell your Bitcoin. Never sell your Bitcoin.
Greeny, I wanted to ask. So like in this context, so like with BTC like at an all-time high, and we're talking about liquidity earlier, where do you see, because some alts are lagging, and some people believe alts won't have the season that they had before. But in your experience, where do you foresee liquidity going? Like which ecosystems?
It's so hard, hey. Like, I mean, in theory, this cycle, it's been extremely rotational. We obviously had the Solana narrative, and if you really want to look, like you had sort of, you had periods where certain ecosystems will outperform BTC, and inevitably over the long run, though, they don't outperform BTC. So if we take a look at a very simple chart, Solana versus BTC, even though it was Solana narrative, it was Memecoin super cycle, Solana only maintained sort of bullishness from about June 23 to March 2024. And since that high, it has still been in a downtrend, which is actually lower highs since last cycle. So to find a chart that actually outperforms BTC is pretty rare over multiple years. And that's why I do think a lot of people are struggling to understand that altcoin season is it's adapting into something new. Now, where I mean that it's something new and that it's more rotational is that we've had meme coins go to billions of dollars. Pepe went to 12 billion, WIF went to 5 billion, Bonk went to 3 billion, Trump is billions. Like, these are the sort of things that take liquidity, take a lot of traders' money and put it elsewhere. Whereas in 2021, which we were all there, like it was so much different, right? We didn't have all these meme coins stealing a lot of liquidity, stealing a lot of attention. It was, okay, well, what's the next sort of L1 that's going to run up? Okay, it could be Matic, it could be AVAX. Like, that's why we went absolutely crazy last cycle, because there weren't as many opportunities. The Ethereum ecosystem dominated last cycle because that's where everyone was trading. That's where all the NFT trading was. Whereas this cycle, it's been, okay, new tech, new chains, new opportunities, InfoFi's come out. So that's put so much more in front of our eyes as well. And so trading trends has become very much more rotational and quite hard unless you're tapped in every single day like myself. And it is still quite hard. So to answer your question, I really don't know which sort of ecosystem is going to thrive. I would have personally said Sui has really had that momentum, but potentially it changes today with the news that's come out. I think Solana is just going to be there with the sort of meme coins and that sort of stuff. But I do think Solana needs to sort of gain back some market share of other avenues. So whether that's gaming or DeFi, because Ethereum still dominates in that DeFi space. Obviously, Abstract's come out now and it's starting to steal away that sort of market share around gaming, around consumers and that sort of stuff as well. So it's tough. And I think you just want to spend time doing the things that you think are going to be right. But for me right now, it's okay, just be really active and be quite aggressive because you don't know when that trend is going to stop.
Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead, Six.
Sorry, I was going to say, yeah, 100% agree on it. I think I think the alts will experience a much shorter pump this time. And I feel like when that attention and that liquidity touches your bags, like you got to be quite aggressive, take profit and get out. But one of the things that I've noticed this sort of season is that certain people have conviction in certain ecosystems. And, you know, over time, as you follow them, you sort of can assess how smart they are, how sort of deep and how deep they research an ecosystem, and you know how much they're into it. And it almost feels like you can trail people who you understand their trading and their mentality. So to give an example, you know, B-Check from Modern Market, he loves hype. And if you look at that ecosystem, that has done extremely well. If you look at Ray, he was been talking about virtuals last week on the show, and he's had his plays in that since earlier this year, and that ecosystem is doing well. You've been in abstract, and it also what it feels like this time is that because you're saying that liquidity is more sort of it's more disparate and spread out this time. It's harder to figure out where it's going to go, and my solution to that is, okay, you don't have to figure out where it's going to go. You can literally trail smart people who dive into ecosystems and follow their thesis if you think their thesis is correct, because they have enough market experience that they're not just going to jump about, or they're not going to jump about from meme coin to meme coin and just sort of try and catch the tail of stuff that has already pumped. That's kind of how I've been thinking about it over the last month or so.
No, that's a great thesis. I 100% agree with that. Like, as you said, Hyperliquid has maintained that consistent sort of adoption, that on-chain liquidity, that on-chain volume, that on-chain transactions. As you can see here in the chart, it's literally outperforming BTC. So it's one of the rare charts that is outperforming BTC. Abstract, I think, as you said, is a consumer chain. If you're an up-and-coming streamer, clipper, builder, gamer, like it's a great place to go, right? If you're diving into even something like Monad or other potential InfoFi sort of connections, right? I think that there's so much money to be made, as you said. If you stick to your lane, I think so many people get caught up with trying to chase too many things, and as you said, they're not either early to it, or they're spreading their time, their liquidity, their money across too many, sort of dipping their fingers in too many pies. And that is what really wrecks them, because they're not doing one particular thing to their best effort. And so that's why I agree. I think, like, I'll pride myself on choosing multiple top sort of trends and taking profit at the right time this cycle, whether it was the memes, whether it was Solana NFTs. I sold my Mad Lad at probably the right time. I sold all my ordinals at the right time. I got out of Memecoins at the start of this year as well, and then rotated sort of into abstract more recently, because I thought, okay, well, look at how good Luca has done this cycle in terms of the Pudgy Penguin brand, the IP there, the business model. Like, think about, okay, well, how could he take this chain to be sort of a competitor to Base? Okay, and he's recently come out and sort of said that sort of stuff. So I kind of doubled down on that thesis, thinking, okay, well, if the market is potentially going lower, which we did, but then we have bounced back since, where am I happy to place my bets based on what has happened previously? And that's why I'm spending sort of more time over in at least abstract at this point in time.
Yeah, Ray, you know, it totally makes sense, Greeny. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page as that. Ray, sorry, I interrupted you earlier. What did you want to say?
I'm a couple steps behind. We talked about Bitcoin and like his target of 150, which is like almost a 50% gain. Do we see Bitcoin become the #2 asset by market cap this cycle?
I think I actually have a tweet from, I want to say nearly 2023, where I said BTC could be the second largest asset worldwide this cycle. I genuinely, so what is that? It's a 1 point, so it's a 50% move. So 50% is what, 55K? Oh, it could be close. I do think it gets close. I genuinely, I think I made a statement a while ago, and it was a pretty fair statement. And I think we probably could tick off #2. We probably don't sustain it because we do consolidate after that. But yeah, I do think we could get to #2.
Yeah, so looking at the top 5 for those just listening.
We're out and right, like 5th now. Like, it's pretty clear we're well above Amazon. It's then that next bracket, like that sort of next, it's still quite $1 trillion really to get to that sort of next bracket, isn't it?
And right now, sorry, Ray, I keep talking over you today. I just want to say this point. If you look, so you got gold and 2, 3, those two companies are at the intersection of AI. which is basically, you know, the number one sector to be in now. And then you've got cryptocurrency, which would be, so for Bitcoin to overtake Apple, 100% makes sense. Apple haven't quite leaned into AI as much as NVIDIA and Microsoft. And then it just becomes a question of, you know, can it beat NVIDIA and Microsoft? So for it to go to 4.3, 100%.
Yeah, I feel like if you're looking at these other companies too, if AI continues to accelerate and they continue to make gains, like right now, Bitcoin's 50% off. But if you think they're going to make gains as well, you almost need like a 2x out of Bitcoin to really solidify that spot number 2. For those just listening, we have the table of assets by market cap. Gold by far and away number 1 at 22 trillion, followed by Microsoft at 3.3, Nvidia at 3.2, Apple at 3.0, and then Bitcoin at 2.2, which passed Amazon at 2.1 with this last run up. So interesting to frame this versus other assets and where it could end up this cycle. Just wanted to jump in there and talk about that. Other interesting news, other things we want to chart. Let's take a look at the notes here. Solana Mobile. Did you pre-order this, Sig?
No, I didn't. I didn't because I missed the first one. And I was so annoyed and angry. I just like, my order didn't get through. When the second one came out, it felt we were at a point in the market where it didn't really feel as if there was the attention, you know, no, that was it. Sorry. First of all, MKBHD came out and said it was the worst phone ever. Then I felt like the move was saturated and they came out with a second phone too soon. I was like, why are they bringing out phone 2 when they just brought out phone 1? So I didn't get it for that reason. But it looks like they've left enough of a gap that if this actually ships in August and we continue to be in this like momentum of higher up, that token could do particularly well. And also as well, I believe the price point was quite high. It was higher than the first phone. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that token would, you know, probably need to perform pretty well for you to get your, I want to say, was it $5,000? No, not as high as that. I want to say probably $1,200. Yeah, $1,200, $2,000 back. But I think it can. If in the right environment, that token and a strong Solana ecosystem, you'll get your money back and more.
I need to look at my pre-order because I pre-ordered this.
The first one or the second one?
Second one.
Okay.
I think I remember watching a show and you said you got the second one because you didn't get the first one, right? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, and I just saw like the reason they made the second one is because they saw the crazy demand on the first one with the airdrops, and they wanted to run it back. People were selling the first ones on eBay for like thousands and thousands of dollars. I think I was sub 500. I was like in the first wave of pre-orders. As soon as that went live, I just snap pre-ordered that, and I figured like that's like 1 to 2 airdrops and then you have call spaces back. Like absolute worst case. Like I put a lot of money into a lot worse things for this. Like even if you're looking at it just like, okay, you spend $450 on a burner phone that you can use for potentially crypto, like it might be a good crypto phone to use as like a wallet or like a trading thing that you can just separate and use OPSEC for. So worst case scenario, that's the case. Best case scenario, like you're getting airdrops on airdrops to this thing.
I've already you just need 3 SOL. You just need 3 SOL to make your money back, really.
Yeah. At this point in time. Yeah. So it seemed like a no-brainer at the time, especially after the success of the first phone. I have the Brownlee, the Marcus Brownlee review here.
Yeah.
No amount of bonker crypto SARS could save this phone. It's a shame the ceramic build was wasted on a weak camera, display, and battery. You can find defense of this phone, but you're not already a SOL holder. They're meaningless. So he hammered it pretty hard. The Seeker token is interesting. I'm sure that's going to have some demand. I'm sure we're going to see some things happen with that, and maybe another like chance to provide money for their investors with a token here. If you're looking at that, basically saying it's going to builders, users, and ecosystem participation. Makes a ton of sense. Standard token model. And then also interesting was the August 4th ship date. So eggplant season will be wrapping up right around the time this thing starts shipping and hitting the desk. So interesting to see what's going to go on there. So if you have one of these, you're happy. I'm very happy. Cool to see a token. I think it's EV plus. Hopefully that token itself, what I get for buying the phone, just outperforms or like out costs the phone. But we'll see. Another thing to highlight. Next thing I want to talk about, though, we've had a lot of demand from the crowd for this one. Everyone wants to see Greeny chart Fartcoin. Everybody wants to see Greeny chart Fartcoin. So if you don't mind pulling it up, let's do it.
All right. Here we go. So obviously like it's the dominant token. Now, I was pretty public about this. We bought this at 290 mil in GTG. So what are we up? Like 290 is way down here. About there. So we're up, 5.2x on that trade. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, I don't know, like you could just tell the trend was shifting to this token. It was like the strongest one on low timeframes to start changing its bias from bearish to bullish. And it's just such an obvious meme that was the main reason that I was like kind of happy to buy it down that 200 to 300 mil range. In terms of where I'm looking at now, I did short it last week. It kind of broke sort of low time frame. Oh, that's a horrendous line. Hold on. It kind of broke sort of low time frames here that I was looking at. So we did take a quick short here the other day, but it has since obviously bounced off this sort of macro trend here. I mean, if you told us all a couple of months ago that this was maybe going to push back towards that sort of $2 billion range, a lot of people would have laughed, but you can't argue with strength in the bull market, and this is a classic reason why. So for me right now, this red line is really the line in the sand that you want to see it hold above. So it's just a very simple like support line, and then as soon as you do break it, that's probably the time to take some profits off the table, if not the majority of your bag off the table, because if you can't get a close back above that sort of support level, then that's probably weakness, lower high, okay, from that high there. And then sure enough, I'll probably be looking to short that maybe into the bear market. So now Fartcoin looks pretty strong here. I mean, it's pretty obvious just how strong look at this, like this is on the daily. So just 3 massive daily candles, even after it's quite obviously one of the strongest tokens. So no, I still hold a little bit of it. I took a bit of profits already on the way up, but yeah, this chart looks pretty nice.
So did you hear that, Bachelor Society? Once you break below that support, it's time to take profits this time.
That's the hardest thing in crypto.
You know what? There's actually a couple of people I need to thank for getting me into this. First of all, I forget his name every time. Shrimp on Easy Spaces. When he first spoke about this, it was around that, I think it was around that 230, 250 range. Him, you, Greeny as well. I saw you talking about this, and there were like a couple of other people like who were sort of like hardcore, diehard Memecoin traders, and I literally just left it, and it's been the most it's been great. It's been absolutely beautiful just to like believe in it. And then, of course, Bachelor Society. He kept talking about this for ages in the comments. So this is what I mean. Like sometimes it's not about having to come up with your own idea. You don't always have to come up with the most original idea for what your next trading strategy is. It's literally just about connecting dots. And if the dots are clear signals within themselves, Greeny's talking about it. You've got a long-time commenter like Bachelor Society. You've got people who are diehard traders talking about it. It just kind of paints its own story. And that's why I always end up, I think, choosing a couple of things which are correct, not because I'm smarter than anyone else. It's just because I follow smart people and I connect the dots, and you kind of make your own micro trend.
But that's so important. Like Twitter is so important for me. Like it is an informational resource. If you're in the doggos, if you're in GTG, if you're in a different alpha group with people that you trust and trade beside, fantastic. But Twitter can be such a useful tool. And I think so many people get it wrong. I have notifications on for some really top quality traders who've been trading successfully for many years. So I use that. I use it for informational resources as well. I use it for up-to-date trends as well, from news to potentially like obviously easy dropping sort of AVAX news overnight and those sorts of things. So yeah, I think Twitter is a tool, and learn to navigate your sort of your algo to support that, and you will get the right sort of signals, as Sig is saying, at the right times.
Yeah, I love it. That's exactly how to do it. So yeah, good. Fartcoin to the moon is what I say. Fartcoin max.
Take some profits, Sig. Don't forget to take some profits.
Yeah. Actually, that's very true. Otherwise, I'll end up with a cap that looks like Raise as a permanent reminder, or round tripping too much money. Hence why I have acid reflux these days.
Yeah. We had some funny news come out of the World Liberty financial space. Did you see that they bought a meme coin on BNB yesterday?
Which one?
The B token on BNB.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
So this caused the B token, which I have never heard about before, to just get massive volume and run 7x on the day. It's like, I guess it's a meme surrounding like builders on BNB, but it's funny to see like World Liberty Financial like on chain buying a meme coin. You can see the candle here from essentially this is a $38 million meme coin now all the way up at 287, wicked almost to 350 on the news. I saw this morning. This just made me laugh. Like there's definitely some shady dealings going on behind.
Oh, 100%. But Ray, you know that Binance is going to be supporting Trump's stablecoin.
Yeah, 100%. And like this is the same thing here. Like they're posting the USD1 stablecoin.
What chain is this stablecoin going to be on? Polygon?
No, BNB.
It is BNB. Sure. Oh yeah, well with Binance. Yeah.
Yeah, right. if it's with Binance. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see more memes pumping within the BNB ecosystem, which will be essentially backed by probably World Liberty. They're literally going to just like buy themselves into the ecosystem and make sure that enough attention goes there that it also goes to the new stablecoin, because they don't want that to be a flop. You can't have Trump stablecoin not having inflows. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that in the next month or two.
I'm just having a quick look here. So obviously I listened to the show yesterday and you guys are talking about Cato, talking about cookie.fun. There's a cookie token here on BNB. Is that just a derivative of the one that's on base? Like what's
same token, just different pools of liquidity.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the mechanism on how it like works between chains.
Yeah.
Price should be the same though across, or like close. Is
so it's like
26 cents?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd be curious your thoughts on this token too. Like, have you been following the cookie launch for the InfoFi? I'm sure you're signed up already.
Yeah, I signed up. Yeah, I mean, like if you've got any sort of following / if you've got a bit of market share or mind share, yeah, you should definitely jump on there. Should have some invite codes if anybody wants some in a couple of days time. But no, I think like you guys, and Chris was covering it really well too yesterday. I think it's just like opportunity. Like it's better than, and I think Kix had a really good summary of it as well. Like it's far better that calls or like top influencers / smaller accounts who are niche about whichever topic they're talking about gain some market share and then get rewarded in their own currency tokens or more broadly with the Cato or other airdrops. I think that's fantastic, right? For crypto in general. We obviously hadn't seen that last cycle. It was very much like, oh, we'll do some under the table deals, or we'll pay this obvious person to just chill it on their live stream, whatever it is. So I like that you kind of have to work for it. And then it also helps with you as a brand and those sorts of things moving forward. So no, I signed up for cookie.fun. And further to that, like I'm incredibly technically analysis based. And so further deep diving into that, I think actually like my latest tweet is actually directly from there. So just purely from mindshare on abstract, and just interesting comparing yourself to that. And I mean, just for my personal sort of story with that too, like I have a look in the past 3 months, and what you have on the mindshare of abstract is literally like devs, the founders, the traders, the streamers, the gamers, the clippers, the builders, all sharing that mindshare. So I really love seeing that sort of data, because that sort of supports what's happening in the ecosystem. It's not just like Luca and Cigar who are just dominating it, right? It's actually other people. Like big shout out to like Woo, big shout out to Zav down the bottom there. He's a clipper as well. Like these people are like, they were not creators before they jumped on abstract. So I love sort of seeing that these sort of people can move up those sort of mindshare ranks.
So these people clipping are basically watching abstract streams, clipping interesting bits and pieces off of them, and then like basically posting. That's interesting, because I've actually had a lot of outreach recently with people looking to clip our show. I think a lot of people are looking in this and they're seeing like an opportunity to get basically like reposted and getting their own accounts like shared by these bigger accounts, which happens when you provide value with something like clipping.
Yeah.
Like if someone's clipping your abstract streams, you're like, oh, I love this. This is great. This gives me content to post. This drives people to my stream. And then in return, it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship where they also get these additional views and additional mind share and exposure. So if you're somebody who has editing skills, like that's just a no brainer. Yeah,
100%. I mean, I actually set up a public one too, so anyone can clip my stuff and get paid for it if you upload it to WAP as well. So yeah, I think it's great. Like for me, it's like, it's fantastic to see other people do what I don't have time to do. And then I will gladly support you if it's a good clip. Like someone today, I think, I can't remember who it was, but someone created a clip today of a meme coin that Craig and I were talking about on our stream. And yeah, it was a great clip. So I was like, yep, retweet that, put it out there, and they get paid for it, and it helps with marketing for me and Craig and all those sorts of things. So no, I love it. I love it.
All right. So talking about streaming, talking about AppShack, let's just jump right over. What has been interesting for you on AppShack? We saw a big mint yesterday with monsters.fun, right? Did you get involved with that?
Oh yeah, look, I didn't get it in the end. So I was on phase 2. So there's 4 phases. It was probably the most hype mint that we've seen probably since Good Vibes Club. 750 supply. Craig and I interviewed the founder last week. It's an AI based fighting sort of 3-faction game, which is coming out in the near future. The capsules were limited to 750 supply. However, I think they did over allocate to streamers / people directly involved in the platform, but then the giveaways of said people, right? And so I think for someone like me who got phase 2, there was only about 100 left at phase 2. So I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning to try and mint this, and it just wouldn't work on OpenSea 2. Apparently you could have used OpenSea 1, but I couldn't figure that out at 4 a.m. So turns out I didn't mint this, and they rocketed from 0.125 all the way up to 0.65 ETH floor. So that was a good 5x, I think. I had a look on the blockchain, easy swept 10 of these at 0.44 ETH. So that's interesting to see. But yeah, I think it was a little bit harsh for certain creators and certain people in the ecosystem to not be able to mint it, considering the limited supply of this. But pretty pumped about what this game will entail. And I think a lot of games on AppShack right now, or in future games coming soon, are really starting to take over. Now, what I love about AppShack is that people like me, so mid-tier influencer who creates a lot of content on the space, I've been chatting with like literally all the founders of all the games, in DMs with them. They're giving me early access to their tools, to their games, and all that sort of stuff. Like, you don't get that on other chains. That's another just simple reason that I am absolutely loving AppShack at the moment as a content creator. It's connecting us with so many people worldwide. I know I'll do a stream with Eli tomorrow, who's one of Easy's best mates in the space. So it's cool to just meet new people and experience it in a very friendly environment and a very consumer-based product. So yeah, pretty bullish on what AppShack's building at the moment.
So your game plan on AppShack is essentially streaming and then looking for like early opportunities, like leveraged off streams.
More than that, I trade. So like you get your weekly XP. So the airdrop, I think, will be quite juicy. I think big pudgies will also be rewarded just for holding a big pudgy. I think that's inevitable. But I stream on there. So trying to grow my brand, obviously that's probably the primary product, but trading as well. Like I'm up, I don't even know, like over 10 grand in the past week or so, just trading on the Memecoin side of AppShack. I hold a bunch of the NFTs there as well for both XP earnings, but more so to take part in all the games that they have over there. So, I think it's an adaptive platform. And if you do go look at the Discover tab and then scroll to the gaming part and then scroll to the bottom, there is a lot of new games coming soon to the ecosystem. So, I mean, that's pretty bullish as well. So it's more than just a very simple streaming platform and gaming platform. It's got a lot coming to it as well. And I think one thing I want to note too is with the streaming, like, I don't know if you, like, you guys would know, like with YouTube, like ad revenue is the only sort of like payment that you get. And even then on YouTube, it's minimal. Like as a creator, it is minimal. I've streamed on Twitch for many months, and same again, you get a very tiny mind share of ad revenue. They take away a significant percentage of fees. But what you get directly on AppShack is actually tips straight into your wallet, whether it's USDC, ETH, a couple of the meme coins, once they reach a certain market cap, can be tipped. So I think that's fantastic. Like Eli jumped on with Min a couple of days ago, and they had so much tips just going straight into their pocket. So I love seeing that, because it's finally nice to sort of see like creators or smaller creators be rewarded for what they're doing. So, I mean, yeah, if you look at his wallet, it'll be extremely degenerate. But yeah, so I mean,
got a ton of cash and a lot of these like weird meme coins. Alpha the Unicorn, 22K. It's weird how you can just look up people's wallets.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, yeah, you could look up my wallet if you want, just type in Greeny. But I'm the same, yeah. Like, I mean, like as a trader, right? Like, it's fantastic to come to a new chain and trade meme coins on a new chain. So for me, a lot of these meme coins, like they're trading like what Solana meme coins were in 2023 and early 2024. They were trading like Ethereum meme coins at the start of 2020. And so I just minted FWOGs actually just before. They're trading like meme coins at the start of the whole cycle on Ethereum. So what I love is that you can go to a new chain like this and actually trade slower than being in all these pump and dump sort of FNN groups that are trading and pumping and dumping all these meme coins on Solana. So it's slower moving. I think that's great for traders and obviously people who are coming to that ecosystem.
FWOGs. Someone,
yes.
Festige in the Bodogos was calling these.
Yes.
Public mint, is it still?
Public
live?
is in 24 hours. Public is in 24 hours.
Okay. Yeah,
and there's 36% left.
Is this it?
No, that's I think that's a marketing company.
That's who they raised money from them, I think.
Oh, so they raised money from them. Yeah, cool.
Really, like I often like hear you know, like you'll call abstract the consumer environment because there's lots of different things. But you know, most people who are going on there, they're talking, and I know, correct me if I'm wrong on the streaming side, but they're talking about crypto, talking about games, they're talking about NFTs. It's still very crypto centric. Do you think there's the attention for somebody to come along and talk about whatever, like how you have on TikTok, there could be somebody talking about something really niche, Transformers figures. I'm just, you know, thinking of anything. If that person was to go on onto the abstract ecosystem, do you think the attention is there now for them to be able to talk about random niche topics, or do you still think streamers need to kind of like almost box themselves still within the headline, the sub-headline crypto topics?
It's so interesting you raise this point because Craig and I have been talking about this with a few founders recently as well. I think abstract is one top streamer away from going pretty viral. So right now you generally see about maybe 200 to 300 viewers on the platform at max, right? So that's great for someone like me who can jump on and maybe capture 30 live viewers or 60 live viewers out of the 200 that are on there. So you are kind of getting that share. There are already streamers on there, so both female and male, who don't actually talk crypto specifically. They just are streamers in general. But I think we're all abstract. I'm not the team. I'm just on there. But I think abstract is one streamer away from really gaining that real key critical member of just gaming, like in general, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be necessarily on abstract. They're only one person away from that really starting to send. And I mean, I can, like, June Analytics, if you look at, I can pull this up. If you start to look at on-chain, so you know me, like I'm a trader, I dive deep into analytics as well. And so if something was going down, I'm probably not going to spend my time there. But if we have a look here, if I can share this screen. So this is just a June analytic metric board of abstract. And if we have a look here, transactions, I did tweet this a couple of days ago. I was expecting a bit of a breakout in transactions. And what we've seen over the past couple of days is a massive influx, over a couple 100,000 more transactions over the past few days. So for me, I think it's like, as long as the data supports where people are heading, that's the key for me. Like if you want to see trends shifting in the right way, otherwise it's probably not worth your time anymore.
Okay, that's a good answer. I mean, I think if they can get the attention of people who are not within the crypto headlines, such like sub-headlines, and you get more diversification in content, that could be anything. Like that could be from somebody talking about Transformers to art to like just making it more general and just topics that most people would talk about. Hence why, you know, so many people go to TikTok for that type of information that they're looking to find. I think you're absolutely right. Then they could get that breakout as long as they continue to have that momentum. Because right now, I think some people, when they think about abstract, just think crypto, almost like PTSD from Blast, and potentially that could be why it hasn't quite got that shift of everybody moving over there who would have gravitated there, for example, if Blast had never been created.
I agree. I think once you spend time on abstract, you realize that it is so superior to Blast, like in so many ways. So I think, just like a real simple answer to that question is just how simple it is to actually onboard your money to the platform. Sure, you have to go through a bridging protocol, but outside of that, you don't have to worry about a private key. It's all built into a smart contract just via Google Authenticator and email authenticator using Privy. So like that in itself is extremely good. And I'm sure in the near future, the team will likely make it even easier to deposit money onto the platform. I mean, I think they've integrated. I mean, I trade on chain, so it's a little bit different, but I think they actually have let me check. You can deposit, you can deposit money straight from MoonPay as well for a small fee. So yeah, the fact that you can do that already makes it so much, again, consumer focused compared to Blast or other alternatives.
I've been doing a little bit of diving into this FWOGs thing. Sorry for cutting you guys off. I just want anyone who's like watching the show to not get scammed. OpenSea looks like they have this like exploit vector here where like there's another collection called FWOGs that is minting now at public, which isn't the right collection. And like it like makes it seem like it's very much so the right collection when you search for it, because it's like this big green minting now thing. So make sure you don't get scammed there and mint the wrong collection. It looks like it's minting on Mintify. So if you're paying attention and you're watching this, also this is just good general information for OpenSea and maybe feedback for them, that they need to be verifying these minting now projects, especially.
Can I add Magic Eden as well? Magic Eden had a monsters.fun scam on there for a long time before. That might be the real collection. But before that was live, there was a real collection on the leaderboard because people probably thought they were the right capsules. So I agree. I think a bit of feedback for both these top two platforms for NFTs is maybe you should have a look at your leaderboards and double check of the actual collections on there. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if like there's like hype launches coming out.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that like you have an intern at least being like, okay, let's make sure that we're ready for this hype launch. That's going to get a lot of attention. Just so be careful out there. If you're minting these, you're probably not going to be able to mint them. The public is in a day. It's mostly minted out for the FWOGs. I don't think secondary trading on them is live.
Not yet.
So just be safe out there. But yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe OpenSea like allows that. It's wild. Speaking of OpenSea though, have you been farming their airdrop at all? Like intentionally?
So, I got scammed. I think maybe I think I told you last show I was on, Ray. I got scammed quite badly about a month ago now. And so my old wallet, I did have a few crates unlocked. So I kind of let that go with that old the old wallets that got scammed. So no, look, I think, but in saying that, since OpenSea has adopted Abstract over the past couple of weeks, I have decided to move more of my on-chain NFT trading on Abstract to OpenSea for the benefit of obviously weekly XP, because I would assume that they would partner more with OpenSea now that that's sort of the hype, but also because OpenSea could have their own airdrop too. So using volume on that platform makes more sense because they haven't unlocked a token like Magic Eden.
Yeah, actually, that does like make sense to me too, because you're double dipping on rewards because they have like kind of said OpenSea is like the marketplace for Abstract.
Yeah,
I'm seeing like better volume liquidity on OpenSea as well than Magic Eden for the Abstract.
It has shifted over. Yeah.
So it looks like that's the place you want to go if you're looking to trade some of these Abstract launches, because initially it was Magic Eden was the place to go.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a bunch of quick hitters I'm going to run through real quick, and then we can talk about anything else that we want to see. If there's anyone else who wants charts charted by Greeny, throw them in the comments while I go through these. Maybe we can do one or two charts before we wrap. But going through the news today, brought to you each and every day from our newsletter, dailybones.com, to go sign up. Strategy is looking to raise another $2.1 billion of their STRF preferred stock with an at-the-market offering. Tron flipped Ethereum in USDT supply. So Tether moving over to Tron. Circle launched the CPN mainnet, allowing banks to settle transactions in real time on the blockchain. The SafeMoon CEO was found guilty on all charges. Hong Kong passed a new stablecoin bill. Bubble Maps V2 goes live on BNB. You can now track BNB tokens with Bubble Maps. That'd be interesting to look at that B token over there and see what's going on with that, with the World Liberty Financial stuff. Volatility Shares launched the first ever Ripple XRP futures ETF. So that's exciting. Ben Pashnek provided updates to the Believe ecosystem, which included some native burn mechanics. Believe ecosystem still alive. I'm going to put that one down as my Greeny chart. That OKX wallet ends for support ends for Bitcoin runes. Runes are taking another hit here as Bitcoin DeFi can't quite get off the ground yet, but I think it is coming. SoFon announced the social oracle system. It's going to unify Web2 and Web3 user data into a single asset. So basically you can take all of your data across platforms and hold it in one place, kind of using ZK proofs. It's going to be interesting to see like how that benefits and like what other platforms integrate with that NFT. And last but not least, VFriends, blast from the past. Cartoons get added to buses going to Disney. So if you're going to Disney World from one of these outside hotels, you get to enjoy a little bit of VFriends entertainment on the drive over. Greeny, I'd love to see a Launchcoin, chart, or just like your takes on Launchcoin in general. And then I'll go through the crowd. I'll pick maybe like one or two more of these. We'll chart a couple more meme coins, and then we'll call it a day.
Easy. Let me pull that one up. Alrighty.
Tommy's asking for hype. Tommy, if you tuned in late, we did a deep dive on hype earlier. Talking about hype versus Bitcoin.
So I'm pretty sure we shorted this at this retest here a couple of days ago. Again, shout out to Sexy for that. Sort of you had consolidation sort of here. It broke up. It how we shorted was swing high to the swing low with the fib, and a lot of tokens only get back to their golden pocket before they do retrace and move back to the downside. So I think I got stopped at break even, but if I did hold that with my stop loss above there, it would have been a really nice short back to the downside. Historically, guys, if you have a chart that goes from absolutely pennies to absolute gazillions, so a 47x in the space of less than a week, you need consolidation. Otherwise, this baby goes to zero again. So, no, look, I mean, it's consolidating here. I would probably sort of now pull my fibs all the way to the bottom and start having a look at, okay, well, how are we going to bounce it? I need to flip my fib over because it's retracement. But are we like, what's your take on this, Ray? Is that ecosystem still thriving? Is it like Ethereum's protocol and everything still launching tokens and they all sort of stealing market share? But it's consolidating here. So keep an eye on it. Is it going to hold this sort of golden pocket region on the whole time frame? If not, probably look for shorts here. If it does look pretty good and we might get something like that, look for longs around that particular point.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up a dashboard on overall market share. I believe this is the one to look at. Just give me a second here. Pull this up. I don't hold this. I haven't traded it. It's interesting to me. I don't think it's going away. I think when Nikita Beer gets involved and he has a number of Web2 like connections, that he can convince a number of big players. Like there can be that big giga token on here, which would kind of send the ecosystem. So I've got the Dune dashboard here for market share, daily active addresses. So this is basically people trading on it. So Believe tokens looking at 25%, which is second to Pump Fund at 66% right now in terms of market share.
Yeah, so it's kind of in a decreasing trend.
Yeah. So like it capped at, so tokens launch capped at roughly, I'm not getting a percentage here, but like 4,900 in a day versus Pump Fund being 21,000. And now we're down to about a little less than 1,000 per day on the Believe app for tokens launching compared to Pump Fund's 30K. So we did see like Pump Fund drop off a bit as we saw competitors like Launch Lab and Believe pick up some market share. Pump Fund still holds the lion's share and it's like kind of increasing over the last few days. But it would be interesting. So like this would like kind of hold that trend you were showing for like, hey, we need consolidation before jumping back in. This is one I'm going to favorite though, I think, and take a look at maybe down. Like what targets are you looking at for accumulating this if you're bullish on this asset?
Have a look at its react. I mean, like it's holding up the 0.5 fib pretty well here. So keep an eye on that. If not, watch the 140 mil region. If not, if we do get that sort of breakdown here, see reaction maybe at the 78 million or the 42, which is historically, like we all know, I sort of love to trade that sort of region down here. So maybe it does break this lower time frame and start to consolidate down here. And then that would be a really nice sort of bullish wave continuation pattern. Maybe, yeah. So what's that, like later in the month? Or not even, like this is on the alley. So no, yeah, I suppose within the next week or less, you could probably see maybe a retest of lower if it does break out from this sort of golden pocket region.
Interesting. So if I were someone who believed in this token and wanted to be long on it, but I thought that also we ran too hot, like you said, this thing ran from pennies to 47x, like what would your strategy be? Is it accumulating in each of these fibs? Like, would you do like a third of what you look to invest in here at these fibs? Or like, how would you like plan that out?
I'd probably long it because then that way you have automatic take profit stop losses rather than allocating spot to it, and then spot making it a little bit harder if you're trying to DCA. So by leveraging it, even just on 2x or 3x leverage, you can sort of still capture that exposure, but not be as sort of high risk if it does make a move to the downside. So in theory here, I'd probably have my stop losses below these lows here, which is about not 156 mil. I'd be targeting back towards that sort of all-time high for a really nice risk to reward of 5. So that's probably the first trade. Second trade, I would watch the reaction at the 618. I usually like to see sort of like, okay, consolidation and then something like this, or even if we kind of come down here, do something like that, and then you set that higher low, that potentially is probably the entry that I would look for in spot, or obviously a leverage long and look sort of a move back up to that high there.
Okay, that's excellent. Because I find trouble, like I have a lot of trouble, like for these, I end up not jumping in.
Yeah.
So like this is one that I think has legs and I think is overhated on the timeline. And I think it takes one, like I said, one good token to really like send this. I missed out on the complete first trade. I didn't follow easy into this. But it's an ecosystem that I think I do believe in long term. So I'm trying to like pick my spot of when to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Another one from the crowd before we go, SPX 6900.
Oh yeah, I'm long on this. I'm printing on this. It's up 16% today. Yeah, I mean, I longed it from down here when we had that sort of breakout pattern here.
I think you got the wrong tab up.
Oh yeah, sorry. There we go. So we had this months of consolidation here where you had lower lows and lower highs for a long period of time, and then eventually we started to see bottom shift. So what I look for in a change of macro trends is a higher low. So as you can see here, we had lower lows, lower highs, and then we sort of had a higher high. Okay, from that point there. Then we had a higher low, and I was looking, okay, well, this looks really good. We got a little bit of a breakout. We then had consolidation here, and that's the point where I longed it, and we're printing on this bad boy in GTG. So, this looks pretty good. I'm not really too keen on buying a lot of stuff that's pumping like this right now. So if you're in, definitely hodl it. Probably take profits along the way at these sort of fibs. As I said before, these are big fibs here for potential reversals. So do keep an eye that we could sort of maybe get a rejection from there. Maybe once you get up to those levels. But for me right now, it's a definite hold if you're in.
Awesome. One more, but first I have potential alpha for you, Greeny, coming from Alfalfa. Ask OpenSea if you can sign to an alt wallet for your reward since you got scammed.
Okay, cool.
Might be able to do
so
something.
OpenSea Discord. Alfalfa, can you DM me on Twitter and give me the Discord link, please?
Yeah, so you might be able to get some of that back.
Amazing.
Last one. How about we go over to? Why don't we go over to some meme coins on AVAX?
Yeah, we can look at that.
I want to see what you can do on this one. I don't even know what this chart looks like.
I have not looked at this chart in so long.
We're gonna look at Cock Inu on AVAX.
All right, let me clean this up a little bit.
Gotta pull that screen too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I always forget to do that. There we go. I mean, like this is inevitably why you need to take profits, guys. It's pretty obvious here, but so you are sort of seeing a breakout here from the trend. Pretty much a lot of meme coins, a lot of altcoins are like this, where they have broken out on low time frames. So as you can see, kind of what I described before, where it has a higher low and a higher high from its previous structures here. So that's always a good signal to see, okay, low time frames are shifting from bearish bias to bullish bias. In terms of like it needs volume, right? Like if this is breaking here, you want to see sort of volume coming down the bottom here, which maybe AVAX gets a bit of volume now that we obviously have that FIFA collab. Maybe it doesn't. This is again kind of like what Sig and I were talking about earlier in the show. Like there's just too much spread liquidity. It's not focused on one thing like it was in 2021. You could easily be like, okay, the metaverse is about to run up. Let's go buy those tokens. Okay, that's done. Let's go to the gaming tokens. Okay, that's done. Let's go to NFTs. Okay, let's go mint and flip things on ETH. Whatever. It was just everyone was moving singularity. This cycle, everyone is spread. Everyone's like not got their focus on a chart like this. Sure, there's still opportunities there, but it's probably not going to perform. Like, I mean, if I compare this to something like just like what I showed you with SBX or even something like WIF, right, where you've had this, see the strength in terms of the chart, like it's broken out a lot higher than Cockino at this sort of level. So that's what I think a lot of people need to understand too. don't get caught holding the wrong thing. You want to be in those strong tokens, the ones that are being talked about on all these mindshare apps. Top influencers are talking about it. New people are going to buy it because it's an obvious meme, and those sorts of things. And even the chain does matter as well. I'll throw that into that conversation as well. If it's like AVAX is a great chain, don't get me wrong, but is it the Memecoin chain? Probably not.
Yeah, I think that there have been successful meme coins, but they're focused on adoption, like Web2 adoption and gaming, and then also like the infrastructure, like is interesting. But I think that meme coins, regardless if you're a meme coin chain or not, there's room to go when that chain has focus. Is kind of my thought process. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'll keep an eye out over there. We did see like a brief AVAX meme coin season with the pre-sales that was really cooking.
Yeah.
And I said that was the last one, but I do want to do one more because I've been looking at FWOG, and FWOG is interesting to me. We had the announcement that the artist joined the Yuga Labs team, and then we saw a little bit of strength off of that. It has been doing well over the past week. It's been showing up on my my dashboards.
I am long on FWOG as well. VIP member made over $50,000 in GTG on FWOG over the past month. So we are quite bullish on FWOG in GTG. So again, I longed it from this sort of consolidation phase at the start of May. And we also had a potential second long literally 2 days ago, which I did drop on my YouTube video a couple of days ago. So pays to watch a few of those free content videos too. But yeah, no, this looks pretty good. I think kind of like what you said, like the team is building, and I think a lot of meme coins aren't doing that. Plus, the IP of FWOG is unique. I know a lot of people throw the conversation in there that it's like a derivative of Pepe. In my opinion, it is different. And I do think I like FWOG. I bought some spot a couple of days ago in this consolidation, and I'm currently long as well down here, up about 300 to 400% on that trade at the moment. Sort of, yeah, targeting back towards that $200 to $300 million range.
Awesome. Big thanks and big shout out for doing all these charts. Love to have you on. Love to get the other perspective. Been awesome having additional guests on this week, getting like new perspectives on anything, Sig, that you have for Greeny before we begin to wrap up here.
No, I think we've covered tons. I mean, the charting, I always love going, like doing Greeny's charting. I've done it once, and it was on Fartcoin, and that is why it hit those Fibonacci's that you were talking about, and that is why, like, I took that trade. But we know, like, we've spoken so much today about where there are different opportunities across different ecosystems, what's happening in a macro, what's going on with BTC, with alts to catch up. I think there's a lot for people to digest there. So nothing to add, Ray. But Greeny, it's been awesome to have you on. Always love hearing your perspective on the charts. I'm excited to see if we get to 140K as you're 155 as you're predicting. So hopefully we crab walk and then hit it Q4.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see that. Love to see that.
Yeah, big shout out, big thanks. Greeny, you have your own trade group. Thank you for coming on. Give us a plug on your group here while you're on here.
Yeah, guys. So Sig's in the group. Ray's been in the group before. It's GTG, Greeny's group on Twitter. You can sign up there. We've been trading full time since 2023 across literally all markets, airdrops, NFTs, Memecoins, DeFi. Futures is our big one because you can always long and short the market. If you are a bigger wallet trader, check out the VIP option where I can talk with you more directly and give you some more sort of guidance in the crypto space around portfolio, risk structure, trading ideas, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, check out GTG on Twitter, guys. Hopefully see a few more Badogos members in there. I know that there's a few Badogos in the community already. So love seeing that.
Yep. If you're somebody in Web3 who needs a community and wants to talk to a bunch of smart people, that is a great place to go. Level up your trading a little bit with Greeny over there. Love to have Greeny on. Thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you all for listening today. Today was an amazing show. I had a ton of fun. Learned a lot, as always, when Greeny's on. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us back on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us on YouTube. Today is a good one to watch on YouTube. We had a lot of charts up on the screen. If you're listening on Spaces, be sure to check that out. You can check out Greeny's magic as he works it in real time. That being said, thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful Thursday.